statement. Okay, so the other one is who here feels that this is an action and process?
How many people can they hit with one
Ooh,
rubber
it needs to be
band?
about half and half, guys.
No way.
Yo, quiet down, quiet down. Everybody quiet down, please.
Okay, everybody quiet
Why don't we go ahead and check to see if anybody's going to do a hard block on it if we agree?
He said doesn't matter. Never brings up Parker again. Never brings
So we're going to do a
that up
temperature check
again.
because it doesn't seem like we know what the statement that's being made exactly is. So can we get a temperature check on see who doesn't feel like we actually have a statement that's been made that we can stand behind?
Have a friendly amendment.
Why are you doing it on
Mic check!
There's a disagreement about whether this proposal is a statement or a process. Mic check! Mic check! Okay, there is a disagreement. If this proposal is either a statement or an action and process. There seems to be a disagreement about that. From the temperature check, I just that's the point of process. What's the point of process?
Point of process is that you clearly don't have 90% anyway. It's moot.
We would have to count it to know.
Okay, so that's one. The other point is there seems to be a lot of hard blocks, and then, there's another point of process.
Exactly. That's an exact, like what you just said before we even started talking about the proposal was that this is about compromise, coming to a consent where a proposal where we all agree on it.
Coming up. Okay, you have a point of process coming up.
Yes. Okay. All right. So my point of process is what mic check, whatever.
Mic check!
What Caroline said before we even started talking about this proposal is that we need to come to a consensus about this, not have people who have their minds made up already. This is about compromise. This is exactly what this movement is about. So I suggest that you step outside of your ego, leave it before you get here, and let's consent upon something that we all agree upon instead of corralling everybody and encouraging people to come out here just to hard block something, okay? How about we do something positive?
The resolution says this statement will be released.
It is a statement.
That's the point. Shut your mouth and look.
I'm just more interested in being, whatever.
Okay, another point of process.
Yeah, and also
We were taking questions. We have devolved into this incredible debate between selected people and some personal attacks similar to the way the resolution is written. I think we should stay with the process. And we should finish the questions.
Finish the question. What's wrong?
Okay, so we're gonna try to agree. Okay, we're gonna continue. So you guys wanna have a discussion about this proposal then? See where we're gonna go with it. Because we are trying to reach consensus on it. I mean, regardless of what happened, we are trying to reach some sort of compromise. So let's have a discussion. But in order to do that, please everybody back up a little bit and sit down and stop waiting anymore. And let's have a discussion about this. Let's all have a calm discussion about this proposal and see why people have so many concerns and why there are so many hard blocks. This is what this process is about. Thank you for reminding me about that, because you're right. That's absolutely what this is about. It's about trying to find a compromise, a solution, and it's not about your idea. It's about all of our ideas. So we're going to move forward with taking questions of clarity in this proposal. So if something's unclear about this proposal, then please come up and ask a question of clarity.
Yes. Question of
Who's stackers? Yeah. I'm sorry. What is stackers? Stackers, raise your hand.
Got questions on stacks.
Okay.
Have a stack, girl.
Okay. Who's first on stack?
Chase.
Chase. Come up.
So bear with me for a second because this is a question of clarity on the proposal, but it's going to take me just a second to get there. So we're a movement. As such, I believe that we negotiate with other people. An example of that is, let's say we occupy every Bank of America in Los Angeles, and they say, get the fuck out and we'll do whatever you want, please. And we say, okay, put a moratorium on your foreclosures and refinance everyone's mortgage who's underwater and we'll leave, and they say, okay, and we leave. That's an example of what we need to negotiate. So my question for clarity on the proposal is, as we continue to negotiate with opponents, with other organizations, etc., the piece of the proposal that says we have to be fully, what does it say? Fully informed consent of the GA. So I think we all agree every word that's spoken in this body is public record. Everything I'm saying, the police know I'm saying because we have a live feed, we have minutes that we publish, etc. So if we're in negotiations and we're strategizing as a GA and fully disclosing everything, every bargaining position, every negotiating strategy before we go into that negotiating session, that doesn't seem to make much sense to me. So I want to make sure we don't limit ourselves in that. So just in terms of fully disclose everything before anyone talks to any organization, just want to kind of get a little black and white in that gray area.
Was that a question?
Yeah, so the question is in terms of fully disclosing, the question of clarity is, the proposal says fully disclose to the GA before you talk to any organization. What is fully disclosed? Does that mean everyone has to know every piece of the negotiation strategy? Like if we tell the cops, next Tuesday we're going to march to 5th and Grand, and instead we march to 7th and Grand. So is the question's clear? Okay.
Okay, is there someone who wants to address that question?
Yeah, I'm stuck. I'm next. Hey,
Hey,
who's
Sean.
next? Stuck. Stucker, who's next?
Somebody has to answer the question.
Okay, there's a question on the floor. Who wants to answer this question? Thank you. No, this is another question. This is the question of
Answer the question.
Okay, you want your question?
I want my question.
Somebody needs to answer this question. Cody or anybody else who wants to answer this question. Same process?
She's not on stack.
I am certainly on stack, and I'm done with you.
You're not taking his
Whoa,
spot.
okay, whoa. Cody, somebody needs to answer this question.
I am done.
Somebody else's place on stack.
Okay.
I can repeat
Nobody's
it.
here to answer that question. No one here can answer this man's question. Okay, thank you.
You're going to propose something, answer the question.
I think the answer to the question is that we're talking about full disclosure at the General Assembly, and I don't think it's about... Hello, mic check? Mic check! So I don't think it's about full disclosure to the outside authorities. I think it's about fully informed consent for the General Assembly. So this is kind of touching on what I wanted to come up and talk about, where, say, the police department says that we have to get off the lawn by next Thursday, and it comes to the General Assembly where we all have to get to choose what we want, whether we want to comply with that or not. It's not just a couple, representatives of Occupy Los Angeles saying, okay, we're going to do this. It's, if the police have a statement for us, they can come down to our General Assembly, they can get in stack, and they can state their proposal here. It's about everyone at this occupation being fully aware of what the authorities in the city are doing to our occupation or requesting from our occupation, so that our negotiating sessions are held here and not somewhere else.
Hey, does that answer your question? Where's Chase?
Yeah, I think so.
It answered your question.
So the answer was, the answer as I heard it was that yes, everything that is said to police would be stated publicly here at GA as well. And I'm not trying to spin, I'm trying to actually get to this point, because I think this is a serious point.
He said it's already in live feed, so they hear everything we're saying.
Hey, check it, man. Hey,
No, what I was saying is that it's not going to be, I don't think it's full disclosure about what we're negotiating on being information for the police to have, because obviously they're going to have that information regardless of what we're deliberating on. We're putting it out over the interweb, so they're going to know regardless of what we're talking about. I think it's about, with our negotiations with the city or with authorities, that being aware for the entire General Assembly. So nothing is happening behind the back of our General Assembly. So everyone here, so the entire occupation is aware of our negotiations with the city and with the authorities.
So so whoever's talking with police could report back to the General Assembly on what was said by both parties?
I don't know if that is necessarily part of this proposal. I mean, I do believe that the spirit of this proposal has to do with the idea that everything that goes down with, you know, our representatives, so to speak, from Occupy Los Angeles talking to the authorities, I don't think that should be behind a closed door. I think that should happen with the fully informed consent of the General Assembly. So if the police want to negotiate with us, they can come down here and they can get in stack and they can negotiate with all of us, not just our representatives.
So there would be no talking to police except if they're the GA.
Yo, man, the only way you're gonna keep the peace
Is that the proposal or not?
the only way you're gonna keep
Okay, that's not necessarily the proposal. I believe that's the spirit of the proposal. That's something that I'll propose, you know, later this week. But I believe the spirit of the proposal is not about, you know, full disclosure to the authorities. It's about fully informed consent for our General Assembly for things that are concerning our occupation.
Okay, can we get some please back up and sit down? Please back up and sit down. I mean, we're trying to have a civil conversation, so thank you. Next up on SAC was Sean.
Okay, I'm gonna sit down because I'm really upset right now. Okay, my question is if we can't have a working relationship with the LAPD, which has been really good to us, then exactly what are we supposed to do? Like last night's situation, if I couldn't explain to the LAPD officer who jumped out of the car with his nightstick that the angry mob wasn't angry at the cops, that they were angry at the guy who just assaulted the cops, what would have happened? Okay, answer me that. How many of you actually live here and have to deal with it on a daily basis? I get assaulted constantly. I've dealt with many arrests here. I've dealt with backing up Mario Brito when people attack him and try to say that he's making undercover deals. Who else wants to be put in that position? That's what I would ask. Because you know what? No, that's what this is about. We need to have a relationship with them. They are part of the 99% too. And that's exactly what they're about. If you're concerned, jump in front of the media while they're here when they're interviewing morons. Thank you.
Thank you. Who wants to answer that question? Somebody please come up and answer that question first.
I think that being where we are, there's definitely a police interaction. Okay, so police are definitely going to be here and interacting. In that case, you're not representing Occupy Los Angeles. You are representing yourself. So when it comes to terms like negotiation, when you're talking about logistics of our occupation, issues that should be handled in-house, going on actions, the details of those actions, stuff like that, tactics. So even if those meetings are like less of those meetings, when you have them, the GA should know that you're going into them, at least have the consent of that, and then you should report back. Or, like the gentleman before represented, they should come to GA.
Occupy LA GA. This is the Occupy GA of Los Angeles.
We don't have a legal representation. We don't have an individual that can be held accountable for this. And having one person or a couple people interact without the transparency and informing the GA, they naturally will develop a relationship, and that's just human nature. We have to hold it accountable to the GA.
Want to give a response?